Hello, everyone. My name is Morgan Hibbs, and I'm the Education Outreach Coordinator for Linn County Farm Bureau. I'm so excited for this opportunity to be able to share with you a little bit about my career and my career path and how important agriculture education is to our schools and our youth of today. So to kick things off, I thought I would share a sample lesson of something that I sometimes take into the classroom. And introduce agriculture. This is a great way to bring an attention getter and to get students excited. So I have a giant apple here. We are going to pretend that this apple is our planet. So this is apple Earth. And when we think about agriculture, we think about the food that we produce. And apples are one of those foods that we produce on orchards. When we think about where those plants in the ground and where we plant those seeds, we want soil that is arable and healthy soil and good quality soil with lots of organic matter. Now, when we think of our planet, though, there's lots of places that we can't plant seeds. So think about the landforms that we have on our planet. We can see lots of different things. We can see mountains. We can see water. So where are the places on our planet that we can't plant seeds? Well, 75% of our planet is made up of water. We have a lot of ocean on our planet, but we also have other waters, fresh waters, lakes, rivers. But 75% of our planet is made up of the water. Now, it might be cool to plant seeds in the ocean, but they aren't going to grow very well, and we aren't going to be able to harvest them very easily. So we grow lots of great food in the ocean, lots of fish and shrimp and things like that, but it's not easily accessible to be able to plant a field of corn or soybeans or to raise cattle on. And so we can't grow a lot of our agricultural commodities in the ocean or in water. Now, where else can we not plant seeds? We can't plant seeds on places that are too hot or too cold. So that takes up another large slice of our apple. So places like Antarctica, that would be pretty cold to plant seeds. Seeds wouldn't grow well there unless they were inside of a building. We can't grow on deserts very well. There's only certain plants that grow well in that extreme of heat. And I was in Colorado last summer, and we went all the way up to Pikes Peak, and we went above the tree line. So even on top of mountains, it's hard to plant seeds because there's not enough oxygen for the plants to grow. Another place that we oftentimes don't think about is this slice of apple. This slice of apple is where we live. So we have cities and we have towns and communities. This slice of apple is also our rainforest. And we have places that don't have a lot of nutrients. The soil isn't a very good, rich soil for plants to grow in. So that takes up another large slice of our apple. So what does that leave us? That leaves us this small slice of apple of arable land to plant seeds. This is our cropland. This is like here in Iowa where we have lots of rich, dark soil to plant our seeds in. Now, our population right now is more than 7 billion. By the year 2050, we're expected to have 9 billion people. So what's going to happen to this slice of land? Is it going to increase or decrease? This slice of land is going to decrease because this slice right here is going to increase. We need more space for people to live. We need to build more schools, have more jobs. So this slice will increase. And we're not going to go take it from Antarctica or cold places. We're not going to take it from the ocean. So we'll have to take it from this arable land to build on. So where does that leave us? That tells us that agriculture is so important. We need to learn how to sustainably produce food to feed 9 billion plus people by 2050. Now, not all of us live on a farm. Most of us actually don't live on a farm. I grew up on a farm, and here in a little bit, I'll share information about my background. But more than most of us, when I go into a classroom and I ask the question, how many of you live on a farm? More than not, most of the time, not a single hand goes up. Maybe one, sometimes two. And so that tells me that we are becoming generations removed from the farm. But when we look at this apple and we look at our planet, we are all involved in agriculture, and agriculture affects all of us. And so we need to learn where our food comes from and how are farmers producing it? And that's where agriculture education comes into place. And that's where that's what we're going to talk about today, agriculture education and my career path. And maybe you might be interested in going into ag ed as well. So now I'm going to switch screens and pull up a PowerPoint and we'll get started. Okay, agriculture education. Like I mentioned, my name is Morgan Hibbs, and I'm the Linn County Farm Bureau Education Outreach Coordinator. The purpose of Linn County Education Outreach is to increase youth awareness on the importance of agriculture, agriculture careers, and the benefits provided by ag throughout an individual's life. The Linn County Farm Bureau started this program 3 years ago with the goal to increase awareness on agriculture in the Linn County area. And we serve as a local resource for educators who want to teach about agriculture. So I'm not a formal teacher. I don't have a classroom, but I do visit classrooms, preschool through high school, educating about where our food and products come from. Iowa is a leading producer of agriculture products, and yet only 2% of Americans live on a farm. And as consumers and producers, we need to lessen this gap. An agriculture literate person understands and communicates the source and value of ag as it affects all aspects of life, meaning that we are all involved in agriculture, even if we don't live on a farm, because we all eat food and we all use the products that come from agriculture. So what is agriculture? Agriculture is the science or practice of farming, including cultivation of the soil, growing of crops, and raising of animals to provide food, wool, and other products. So this means that agriculture is affecting all of our lives. And once upon a time, we would hunt and gather for our food. Well, today, farming makes it easy so that we can go to the grocery store and have rows and rows of food and products to choose from. But once upon a time, we had to do that as a family, and we would raise the food for our family. And before that, we would hunt and gather for the food. But then we decided to bring the animals and the crops closer to us so that we could more efficiently raise the food and the products that we use every day. Now, when we think of agriculture, we often think about the farmers themselves, but agriculture is so much more than just the farmer. That's the initial stage, but we also have the supply chain. And with COVID-19, we've seen some steps in the supply chain that hasn't been as stable as it once was. When we go to the grocery stores, there was toilet paper missing from the shelves. One time when I went, there was milk missing. This last time, there was a lot of flour missing because people are home, so they're baking more. And so the supply chain is more important than ever when we are starting to realize the process and the stages in that supply chain. So the farmers are that first initial stage, but then we have agribusiness people who help provide information to the farmers and equipment and technology. We use drones and GPS systems, and farming is more high tech than it ever has been before. We also have transporters. We have distribution and marketing. If we don't have a customer who wants to purchase the materials or the products, then we have no end goal or no place to sell the goods. So we need to market our products as well. And then eventually to the grocery stores or the mall or everywhere we buy our products, and then to the consumer. So here is a farm web. And when we think of a farm web, we think about all of the products that come from the farm. So if we look closest to the farm, you can see that there are plants and animals connected right to the farm. So that is where the farmer is taking care of those animals and plants. But then from that, we have food, and we also have goods and products that we use. So for example, this corn picture right here, we can get pop from corn. So the soda that we drink, the Pepsi, the Mountain Dew, it has high fructose corn syrup in it, which is a sugar that comes from field corn. We also get gas called ethanol from corn. And then we have things like ice cream, my favorite summer treat. I've already been to the ice cream store way too much in the past few weeks, but we have dairy cows that give us milk and ice cream and cheese. And then we even have things like cotton. Did you know jeans come from cotton? And so this web is interconnected way more than we would once believe and once think. And all of these plants and animals, imagine if we put all of the livestock, the animals, and the crops around this farm, the kind of products and the web that we could build. The importance of agriculture. What is the impact of agriculture on your everyday life? Can you think about that for a second? Where would we be without agriculture? And what would happen if there were no farmers and ranchers? We would have to go back to hunting and gathering. What careers do you think support the ability of farmers and ranchers to produce food, clothing, and shelter? And we have a vast challenge of feeding more than 9 billion people by 2050, and you can be a part of that. And that is why agriculture education is so important. Now, where does Iowa rank high in ag? So we talk about Iowa as being a farm state, but where do we rank? Well, we rank first in egg production, which is surprising to most people. Here is some pictures of a small chicken farm where they raise chickens to have eggs, and it's called a laying farm. This is the farm chat we did where we went out and toured the farm, and we had Susan share with the students how she raises and cares for her chickens. We rank first in field corn. So we grow 98% of the corn we grow here in Iowa is field corn, and only 2% of the corn we grow is actually sweet corn. So there's not many uses for sweet corn. We eat it out of a can, frozen, or fresh off the cob. Now, field corn, though, is used to feed animals. It's also used in over 4,000 different things, and it's used to make ethanol, which is a gas that can go in our car. We also rank first in pork production, which is pigs, and we rank in the top 10 for turkey, beef, alfalfa hay, and soybeans. Why teach agriculture? Agriculture provides local connections to math, science, and social studies concepts. So after the last few slides, you might be understanding why agriculture is so important, but why take it into the classroom, and why pursue a degree in agriculture education? Well, it can provide real-world local connections to those standards. We are learning about math, science, and social studies in schools. Why not put a real example to those standards that we're already learning? By offering agriculture in the classroom, we can create real-world STEM opportunities, and the National Agricultural Literacy themes align with more than 90 core science standards that we're already teaching in schools. Some of our themes that we strive to reach include agriculture and the environment, plants and animals for food, fiber, and energy, food, health, and lifestyle, culture, society, economy, and geography, science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if you look at that list, you can maybe recognize some of those that you've learned in school. And so agriculture fits nicely. Instead of being an addition to what teachers are teaching, we are trying our best to complement and incorporate agriculture into the themes that students are already learning. Okay, here is a short video we'll watch about our program.
County Farm Bureau Insurance Agency opened up an educational division for students of all ages, teaching about concepts and jobs in agriculture. CBS News reporter Eva Anderson is live at the cattle farm in Tiffin to tell us all about the woman behind this new initiative. Eva?
Janae Morgan Ball grew up on this farm. She went to Iowa State and majored in agriculture education with a communication focus. And now she goes to classrooms all over Linn County, teaching students about concepts in agriculture, giving them an up-close look, even if they didn't grow up on a farm.
I'm here today to do a lesson with you like I did last time. First, tell me what time of year it is.
Fall. Harvest season is a perfect time to teach kids about the life cycle of apples and pumpkins.
What are some things about this apple that you notice?
But as a new education outreach coordinator for Linn County Farm Bureau, Morgan Ball finds ways to help teachers bring agriculture lessons into the classroom all year long.
We would love to incorporate agriculture into whatever they're teaching.
For younger students, she brings hands-on materials to demonstrate agriculture and concepts they're already learning about.
A second grade class teaches about solid and liquids. We'll change that from just your generic solid and liquids to let's talk about dairy, and let's bring in some ice cream and butter, and let's talk about the difference and how we make those.
She's giving this second grade class a taste of 3 different types of apples and discussing how they make it from the orchard to the supermarket.
They see the fields and they see what's going on, but I don't think they make that connection that these products actually influence us.
Everyone is involved with agriculture, even if they all use products. And being in the central of the United States where we produce so much food, we have such awesome potential in jobs.
Morgan says the lessons keep her on her toes. And as far as the students,
they love it. They absolutely love it. They're like, when is she going to come again?
And she hopes that enthusiasm inspires their career choices. Morgan says that her goal for next year is to keep on expanding the program and this summer to host workshops for teachers in the area. To find out how to bring Morgan into your classroom, you can find information on our website, CBS News.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so my job description. So I develop programs and activities to educate students and teachers about agriculture. So our goals are to introduce Iowa Ag to Linn County classrooms, preschool through high school, introduce ag careers, work with local FFA chapters and other county partners, and advocate for agriculture. So every day looks different for me. For example, doing this presentation is part of that career goal. But this morning we held a farm chat with a alpaca farm, and we did a Facebook Live event where students were able to learn about alpacas. On Tuesday this week, I held a garden workshop where we were working with daycare providers to build daycare-centered gardens to be able to bring that garden to a childhood development curriculum. So every day looks different, and it's really a unique position, but some of my daily tasks include coordinating classroom visits, STEM Fest, teacher workshops, fair activities, library programs. I design lesson plans similar to school teachers, preschool through high school. I purchase and produce lesson materials, develop monthly newsletter, publish articles for the area spokesman pages, which is our Farm Bureau newspaper, promote the program through social media, manage a website. So the education that was required was a bachelor's degree in agriculture. Now the job outlook. There's not many of me per county. So in Linn County, we have one, but other counties also have a position like this. But there are other ways to teach agriculture education without being a ag in the classroom coordinator. So there are formal agriculture education teachers. For example, there are districts in Linn County that have education programs for agriculture in the high school level. So Linn-Mar has a program. We have Central City that has a program. North Linn, Prairie just started a program. And so agriculture education can be a formal high school class. We have extension and outreach, commodity groups, so lots of different ways to teach agriculture throughout the county, and they all look different, but all have similar goals. The hours are typically 8 to 5. Salary is starting between $30,000 and $40,000, which is about $15 to $20 an hour. And high school classes that I recommend include science, biology, chemistry, botany, English, communications is really important, public speaking, and agriculture. So what can you be doing now? You can practice your 21st century skills, communication, initiative taking, time management, project completion, and in some experiences you can participate in now while you are still in school is to join FFA or 4-H, and you can Google FFA and 4-H to learn more. There's great websites here for Iowa on those organizations. Ag or science classes, public speaking, job shadow a teacher, take a college campus tour, have a part-time job that incorporates one of those century skills, be involved in the school newspaper, or be a mentor or a tutor. Here is a fun science experiment and one of the virtual opportunities we did the last couple months during the springtime. Okay, there are endless opportunities to agriculture education. We have lots of different learning opportunities for our our county. So we offer Farm Chat, which is a virtual tour of a farm. We do a chicken hatching program. Pizza-thon is where students can learn about the ingredients that come from the pizza. And then we also have professional development opportunities for teachers so that teachers can come and learn about how to incorporate agriculture into their classroom. Some ag topics that we cover include crops, animals, conservation, technology, history, farm practices, energy, and genetics, and lots more. Some lesson challenges. So I love lesson planning, marketing and promotion, communication and interacting with youth. Some challenges, consumer perspective, misconceptions of agriculture, coordinating visits to best fit the schedules of the teachers in the schools. And the last couple of months have been kind of difficult doing some virtual learning, as has it been for the school district. So I'll go through my background briefly. And so I grew up on a farm. I live in Tiffin, Iowa, in Johnson County. We raise beef cattle, and I was in 4-H and showed beef and sheep. Once I graduated from high school, I attended Iowa State, and I loved joining clubs and participating, which is a great way to get your feet wet and figure out what you like and learn from others. So I was in NAMA, which is National Agriculture Marketing Association. And I also had internships. An internship is where you can get experience and see if this is something that you'd be interested in pursuing once you graduate. So I had an internship with Extension, and I had an internship with Iowa Farm Bureau, and I also worked with the Iowa State Daily newspaper. And that is kind of what helped lead me into this position, and knowing that I wanted to work with youth and that I also wanted to communicate how important agriculture is. So now that I'm back home, I help my dad with the cows, and I've also started a small farmhouse flowers adventure, which is a cut flower business. And I love being involved with the farm still and advocating and educating about agriculture. So my major was agriculture and life sciences education with a communication focus. And my degree was split up so that half of my classes were marketing and communication and education, and then half of them were agriculture. So my focus in agriculture was horticulture, which is your more perishable items like your vegetables and fruits and flowers, and then animal science, which is your livestock, your pigs, your cows, sheep, poultry, things like that. Here are some other agriculture careers that you can look into. When I went to Iowa State, I didn't realize that there were so many opportunities in agriculture careers. If you have any questions, you can visit our website to get a hold of me, and you can learn more about our program. And then if you have an interest in agriculture careers, there is a great website called Ag Explorer, and you can visit that as well. I hope you enjoyed listening to information about ag education, and I hope you have a more of an appreciation for how important agriculture is to our state and to all and each one of us. I had such a great time doing this presentation for you, and I hope it was beneficial, and I can't wait to see how many of you go into agriculture education. Thank you.